So once you already got familiar with the dashboard, now let's talk about the Prometheus tools. Now Prometheus is an open source monitoring and alert toolkit that was developed in 2012 by a company called SoundCloud. Now it is an open source tool since 2016. Prometheus is constantly reading the required data from your Kubernetes installation by corresponding with the API. So the software can send alerts according to some pre-configured rules to a manager called Alert Manager. So the Prometheus Manager is in charge of managing the alarms, receiving them and sending them to another application in change of transmitting the message. It is also possible to use another software that allows you to view the data that comes from Kubernetes. Not only Prometheus can manage alarms, but also it can group alarms and also can send alarms to other applications. So if you want to check out Prometheus webpage, you can go to github.com Prometheus, and from there you can get that tool. So Prometheus allows two types of possible rules to configure and evaluate your application in predefined times. Those are the recording rules and the alert rules. So the recording rules will allow you to execute actions that are required repeatedly or are computationally expensive to save the complete result, while the alert rules allow you to define conditions under which the program will send you notification. These alerts have to be written in the Prometheus language for Prometheus to be able to understand and execute the alerts. So the software contains a local database on the disk to store corresponding data, but it can also be used on the remote systems. There are several functionalities to make a Prometheus, and the first one is the Alert Manager, which manages the alerts sent to the application or the Prometheus server itself, and the second one is the Prometheus Operator, which provides monitoring definitions to the Kubernetes services and the Prometheus deployment, making the configuration with a cluster native by managing the necessary instances. So one of the outstanding advantages of Prometheus is its query language, which is quite flexible. It also has a pull model for metric collections and a discovery service for the objectives that really helps for facilitating the integration with the tools such as Kubernetes and others. So let's have a look at the Prometheus architecture. Now Prometheus works well to record numerical time series, for example those based on time series data, both machine monitoring and microservice based architecture monitoring. So one of the first main features is that it provides multidimensional data and a very powerful query language which is called PromQL. It also collects information from more than 5,000 metrics automatically with zero configuration, zero dependencies, and zero maintenance. It also offers 4 types of matrices: counter, gauge, histogram, and summary. So Prometheus is made up of multiple components, which includes the Prometheus server, which is the core and the main component in charge of collecting and storing application metrics in the time series database. Then you have the service discovery, so it can auto-discover applications automatically in real time. It's essential when working with containers that were consistently changing their IP addresses. It also has client libraries, and those libraries are pretty much in charge of exposing individual matrices of the applications to be monitored to Prometheus format, so that they can be collected and run by the Prometheus server. And finally, you have the Alert Manager, which manages the alerts that have been sent to Prometheus. Now you also have a connection for data visualization tools from where you can have better visualization of the Prometheus data using external tools like Graphena. So in order to download Prometheus for your device, what you need to do is to go to prometheus.com and actually .io, and then download the version for your device. For example, since I'm using Mac, I will download the Darwin zip file from here, okay, and it downloads almost instantly. So if you unzip the file, then you will have this folder here. So once you have Prometheus downloaded, let's create the Prometheus namespace. So let's do kubectl create namespace Prometheus dash system. Okay, so now the namespace is created, and you can see that here you have a new namespace called Prometheus system. Then let's navigate to our Prometheus installation. Okay, so to the folder that the file is unzipped. Let's double click the Prometheus file right here, okay, in order to enable it. It will take just a few seconds, that's it. And make sure that you copy and paste the Prometheus file into your root directory right here. Okay, so I will do that. So let's copy this file and just paste it in the root directory. Okay, so you can see that if I go to do ls here, I will have the Prometheus YAML file that I copied and pasted in my root directory. So once the file is in the correct folder, then hit the Prometheus right here 2 times. And now the Prometheus should start in your device. Okay, as you can see here. So if I go back to the dashboard, you will see that the Prometheus system is still active and up and running. Or alternatively, you can simply run it from the installation folder by writing prometheus config.file equals to prometheus.yaml. Okay, that should have exactly the same result. So now, once this is done, if you write curl localhost 9090 matrix, you'll be able to see all the matrices that Prometheus is using. You can also access that from the browser as well. So if I do localhost 9090, okay, I will be able to access Prometheus, and you can see the dashboard quite easily. Or if you do dash matrix, okay, you'll be able to see all the matrices and analysis that Prometheus is monitoring on your Kubernetes installation. So you can see that from here you can check for graphs, alerts, once you connect Prometheus to your application. So right now Prometheus is running locally, and so you're able to find information such as the runtime and the build information, TSDB information, configurations. You can define the different rules and then look at them, targets, and so on. So for example, in order to create a queue, you can go to the main Prometheus page, and here in this search, you can pretty much select this icon here, and this will give you the ability to enter queues about collected matrices. So for example, if I use this metric go namespaces freeze total, you can find that there is one endpoint here that's on the localhost 9090, and this is the Prometheus endpoint. You can also explore graphs, as you can see, for the particular endpoints, and you can see how the particular queue evolves over time and how it changes. So this is a very good way, guys, for you to explore and monitor your application by doing queues and connecting Kubernetes to Prometheus. That's it. Thank you very much for watching that video, and I will see you in our next challenges.